Why don't we do this? We do the speed round in my on my show here. We do 10 quick questions, and you just gotta fire from the hip. If you could run back one of the draws that you had in your career, BJ Penn or Rory McDonald, which one would you redo?
The BJ.
BJ.
Yeah.
When did you start playing a ukulele?
My first trip. No, it was my honeymoon. It was 2010. 2010.
What got you started? What got you started doing it?
My friend, a good friend of mine, Doug, Landon. He had moved there. We grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he had moved there. And him and his girlfriend were out there living together. And I just got married, so we went out to see them. Stayed in their spare room, so it was like a perfect honeymoon. And I'd been trying to play guitar for a long time, and it's just too many strings, 6 strings too many. Like I had a hard time doing it. And he had a ukulele, and he showed me like 4 chords, and I picked it up pretty quick. And like you could play like a few songs with 4 chords. Like, no, I was like, this is amazing. So I could already, it's fun to like play and sing songs. You don't have to be awesome at it, but it's just fun to do. So I bought a cheap one there and played it for a year, and then after a year I could play Under the Bridge, the intro, pretty well. So I was like, you know what, I've done this enough. I'm gonna get a nicer one. So I leveled up, and now I have like 4 ukuleles.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, self-taught. I mean, I watched YouTube videos, and I subscribed to this Ukulele Underground for a couple of years. It was
if anybody wants to see,
it's good for brain health. It's good, man. It's better than playing video games, guys.
Yeah.
Take an hour a day that you play video games, stop and play ukulele.
You played a lot of it on your New Year's program. That was it was like a marathon.
Yeah. Part of the reason I do it on my podcast and stuff though is it's because it's embarrassing. Like I want to force myself to do something that's like fucking hard to do, man. It's embarrassing. I'm not like, oh, I'm awesome. I know I'm not good, and I mess up a lot. It's embarrassing.
You're actually good on it, yeah, for sure. I'm
not terrible. I'm getting better, but like, no, I do make a lot of mistakes. I'm not a musician. I say I'm not a musician. I'm a technician. Like I'll learn how to do it and I can copy it, but like I can't hear music and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right. How about if GSP and Khabib were to fight, who wins it and how?
Well, that's a very nuanced question because at what weight and in what time frame? When at both peak and then the weight still matters.
No, I'm talking this year. Let's say if it happens
right now, that happens this year at 155. Khabib wins because I don't think GSP can make 155 and be strong and still fight.
I was going to say catch weight.
At 170, I think Khabib can beat him at 170 because GSP's old.
GSP, well, he is sort of old. He's a year younger than me, so he's not that.
I'm sick compared to Khabib.
Hey, this was not one of my questions that I had for you, but I wanted to ask you, what's a Tokestone? And
do I have any in my? They are okay. So I use cannabis. My friends use cannabis, and we smoke joints a lot. So you put your joint in the Tokestone, and then it makes it easier to pass it around because you pass the stone around. But even better in COVID, everybody can have their own Tokestone and then put the joint in their own stone and then pass it. So it works out for a medical reason now too.
Okay, I thought it was
also because I've had guys in our smoke circle who like slobber on BJ, right? You know what I'm talking about. You know who you are, guys.
Yeah.
So like you get the Tokestone and you pass the Tokestone, you get some spit on the Tokestone, you can wipe it off.
Oh, I totally would have thought I thought you were going to say it was like a bowl made out of a stone, but
I've done that too, though. I've made bowls that are just out of the stone.
Very cool.
I was actually looking for one. I thought I might have had one on the table.
I know some people that might want to buy a Tokestone now.
Go to johnfish.net. I have a store and I've got some of my Tokestones up. I also have the Stones company, the Stones company with an S on
Stone.
Instagram is pictures. It's all for all that stuff. It's on there.
Awesome. I know that you're retired. You're fully retired from MMA, but could we ever see you in like Submission Underground or
possibility? 80? It's a possibility. I got to get back regular into the gym. I got to get my schedule kind of set to where I can train.
Yeah.
And
okay.
You know, I feel because I like my neck has been feeling great because I haven't had anybody pull on my head and choke me for a long time.
Nice. Beer, wine, whiskey, tequila, whiskey. Is that what you're drinking right now?
Yeah, I had a little Islay Gold.
Islay Gold.
Scotch. I've been getting into Scotch the last year since COVID started. I actually had I got to get back to it, but I had a podcast on Rockfin live stream that I was doing called Cauliflower and Cocktail Hour. And I would take a bottle of it was justification to drink during the day during COVID. I would take a bottle of liquor every week and I would research it and find out like how they made it, where, you know, everything about the brewery, whatever. And yeah, I would drink and taste it and talk about it. It was fun.
That's freaking awesome. All right, so I got some fan questions.
It's driving me crazy.
All right. This comes from Bob Beauvais. He says, you fought in all the big companies. Can you give a quick opinion on each one and what was the biggest differences? I mean, you could probably go
like I said, I mean, the size of, UFC changed throughout the career as it grew. They became colder and more about the money. I think that's what it felt like. And a lot of it was BS too, because at the beginning they told us like, oh, we're all in this together. We're all building this together. We're all this for the guy. We're all doing this together, guys. And then they made $4 billion. Like, fuck you. Yeah. But then WSOF, they tried really hard, but like I felt like they just couldn't get stuff together and were a little bit unprofessional to me. And they breached a contract with me, and I wanted out. And I just I'm not cool with people breaking deals and not doing like what they weren't going to do anything. They were going to compensate me, nothing. It was like, well, sorry, we broke our deal. Tough. Like, no. Like, pay me the money you owe me, give me the fights you owe me, or like release me. This is ridiculous. And then Bellator was great. It was awesome. Other than, the shitty decision, I think my experience with Bellator was awesome. I really enjoyed myself. They did a great job promoting. I had fun.
You know what's what's the shittiest about that decision was that honestly everyone thought
it killed a great story.
Right. Everyone thought Rory was
the old guy, in his last run. I could have, went to the finals. Even if I didn't beat Lima, it would have been an amazing underdog. Like, people would have got behind it. They would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, I think you won that, and I think a lot of people think you won that. And that circles all the way back.
I think Rory thinks I won that.
Yeah, it just goes back to how shitty judges are, and I mean that's a whole nother podcast.
Well, I honestly I don't blame judges as much as I blame the fact that there is no criteria. There's no scoring criteria. There's no how do you win? It's like aggression, ring generalship, ground control, striking, and I don't even I don't know what else. Damage, is that even one? No, I don't know. But there's some point. There's no description. Like in every other sport, every other game, every board game you've ever played, there's a rules card, right? And an idiot off the street can read the rules card and tell you how to play the game and can show you who the winner is perfectly every time, right? Shouldn't that be the same with this? I just don't feel like there's tight criteria, and I think they do that. Because they like it when judges get it wrong.
You froze, John. I could still hear you, but your face is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I got a little video. I hear you, but you're okay.
Are you there?
It got a weird connection there for a second.
We'll just get right through these last couple questions. How hard? This is from John Naples. He says, "How hard did BJ Penn hit?" Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Okay.
John.
And he didn't hit hard. I don't believe BJ hit hard at all. He did catch me with an elbow, a clean elbow. So BJ didn't hit hard, but he hit me with a clean elbow in the nose, and that
but in comparison
to, I got a bad connection all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're getting back. You're coming back. There you are.
Okay. I was saying with BJ, like he didn't hit hard, but his he did catch me with a clean elbow, square in the nose, made it bloody.
Yeah, but as far as like him compared to the rest of the welterweights, he didn't hit any harder than anybody, right?
No.
Number 8. This came from Aaron Lopez, a fellow fighter. He says, "How long did it take you to go from amateur to pro?"
So I fought in the Old West. So I fought pro first, and then I did a
oh man,
tournament. I fought twice as a.
We're getting some serious connection problems now. You there? Do we have too many kids on video?
Oh
man,
I'm still here.
I'm still all right. Let me let's finish up because we're having some serious issues here.
Wow. I'm not used to having it.
Super awesome. And he's back. His chair is back.
Okay.
There you are. That's all right. So you were saying, let's go back to that one. You fought pro and then went.
Because this was back 2002, man. So like there was no regulation, there was no nothing. Like you just showed up, and if they had somebody, you fought. So we would drive places and like see if they anybody. Okay, we got a guy for you. Let's go. Like you never saw the guy until you got into the ring or the cage.
Right, and like you fought back in the day when you fight 2, 3, 4 times a night, right?
I fought twice in one night, on 2 occasions, and 3 times in one night on another occasion. So I've had three nights where I fought multiple times.
And those were all pro?
No, two are pro, 2 were amateur, and then 3 were pro.
That's crazy, man. You're an animal, that's for sure.
The one of the ones that I fought 3 at the pro, that was in Mexico, and that was wild, man. We were like this old boxing stadium down there. It was like super like kind of grimy, and like people were smoking like next to the cage, and I swear I saw chicken feathers. Like,
oh my god,
nuts, man.
That's freaking great. The cartel ran.
Maybe it might have been like that. Like the first time I fought in Mexico, it was in like a nightclub, and there's like people above the thing, and it was crazy. Brian Ebersol fought in the same card, and he like slammed the guy through the door, and the cage door went open, and they slammed on like the expensive tables, right? Cage side tables. That was awesome.
So more like a bar fight in a movie.
It was like a movie because like it was a nightclub, and like they did like shows and performances there. So like there was this big stairway that went down to the cage, and up the top there was this big platform that rotated. So you'd get on the platform and it'd rotate, and the lights would come on you, and you'd walk down. So it was pretty cool. And there was like there was an upper deck where you would look over the cage and you could look down at the fights, and it was wild, man. It was a wild scene.
So they knew how to put on a show, even though it was like
that was better than some of the stuff you see now, man. That was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, honestly, at least I don't know. Bellator puts on like the big screen, and like they'll let guys do
a pretty good job. Yeah,
they'll do a good job. UFC takes away all creative control from everybody. It's kind of, I mean,
they're McDojo. They want to just crank out the same product over and over and over again, so you get like used to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they just want to be able to crank out the same bland garbage all the time, and you just keep consuming the bland garbage. Oh, it's a fight. Just watch the fight. Just watch the fight.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they with the new Venom deal or whatever they did, instead of Reebok, maybe guys could start wearing their own shit out to the ring again. I don't know. Who knows?
No, the way UFC does things is they more than likely bought a large portion of the company Venom, or they own it completely now.
Oh,
that's the way they do things. That's what they do with Zions. That's what they do with a bunch of other stuff. T8. They end up like even THQ, the first video game. They end up like saving that company in order to get more control over their game.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the one they wanted your name on and weren't going to pay you.
Yeah, that was the very first one.
That was the beginning of your tumultuous relationship with the UFC.
It wasn't the beginning, but it highlighted it.
Yeah. San Juan is asking, did you ever feel pressured to change up your style to be more
constantly? That was all they would constantly saying. Like, it was ridiculous. So I would have the same fight. And honestly, like, not constantly. It wasn't until after I was right before the second Thiago Alves fight. That's when they started pressuring me and started saying stuff about me being boring. It never came up before. But because I won so much, they didn't have another argument to like stop me from fighting for a title. So they turned it into, oh, well, it's not entertaining enough. So they took things away from being good enough, because everything before then was like, oh, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. This guy's not good enough. He needs to win more fights. He needs to prove that he's more of a fighter, that type of stuff. That's where the language and everything went before. And then at that point they realized, oh, well, shit, we can control things even more if we turn this into entertainment versus like a skill thing. It's not how good you are. It's how entertaining you are.
Which is crazy to me that they were like that with a person like yourself, but GSP was there at the same time as you, and he used to.
They already had him. Remember, they run it as pro wrestling. So if they already have that character, they didn't need a clean cut white boy who could wrestle. They didn't need that. They already had him, and they had Matt Hughes. So they had the old version and the new version. They didn't need another new version. If I would have dyed my hair pink and then started acting like Colby Covington or some crazy shit,
get a shitload of tattoos,
then I would have been a different character. They would have pushed me more. I see that now.
Yeah, that makes
at the time, this is a sport. It should be about honor, respect, and it's business. It's all about money. No one cares.
Jesus. Good answer. All right. And the last question, I ask everybody this, but I should probably change this up because there's a new season out. In the Karate Kid Cobra Kai saga, are you Team Johnny or Team Daniel?
I have not seen any of season 3 yet. After 2 seasons, Team Cobra Kai, but there's some definite problems that have arisen now that I'm like, 70-30.
70. Well, 70. I have not seen the third season yet either, but I keep like seeing some spoilers here and there, and I got to get on that.
I've been good avoiding them.
All right, man.
That's cool.